Hey again everyone, it's me, Coral. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am posting my TBR for a readathon going on at the very end of April and on into the very beginning of May. This is the Halfoweenathon. This is put on by Megan and Sue over at Spinebreakers. I just actually stumbled across their YouTube channel like last week. And the very first video I saw was the announcement for Halfoweenathon, and I was like, what good fortune. And I decided that I'm gonna have to do it halfway to Halloween. And not that I don't get spooky on a regular basis, but I'm ready to get extra spooky for that week. So let's see, there are 7 challenges, 6 book-related challenges, and then 1 where you can wear a costume and post a video if you'd like. A half-ass costume, I should say. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I think I have a wig somewhere, but I think that it's the same color as my hair is now, so is there a point in that? I don't know. Let me talk about these challenges and what I've chosen to read for them. For the first challenge, it says to read a book that has been adapted into a movie and then watch the movie. So for this, I picked a short little tiny story I've had on my shelf and I haven't read, called Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. I really honestly don't like classics that much. So this has been on my shelf for a long time. There's probably never been a point where I looked at it and thought, I really want to read that. But it's short, it has an adaptation that I like because I will be watching the version with Christopher Walken and Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci, obviously, after I finish this. The second challenge is to read a book by an indie author. And for this, I picked Candy by Justin M. Woodward. Justin is obviously an indie author, or I wouldn't have picked this book. He has a good few books out now, but this one's been on my shelf for a long time and I haven't read any of his work yet, which makes me feel guilty. So I'm gonna pick this one up. This is about a girl who hunts down serial killers and I'm super into it. All right, the third challenge is to read a book by a master of horror, someone such as Stephen King or Richard Lehman, I would assume. Who else? Maybe somebody like Jan Williamson, or if you're going vintage, maybe, or Anne Rice, somebody like that, I'm assuming. So I picked The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. This is, of course, the novella that Hellraiser was based on. I have only read one of Clive Barker's works before I read Cabal a long time ago, and I did not understand any of it. So I really want to give his work a second try because I know that people love him, and I'm hoping that this one's just short and sweet, to the point, and that I'll enjoy it. Number 4 is to read a book set in autumn. And for this, I picked Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. This is probably the longest book I picked, I think. And because it's like the only book I could think of, I even like Googled it and I couldn't come up with anything that I owned. Really anything at all that was like for certain set in autumn and not just like a book that someone says I should read towards Halloween, you know? So this is also one of the 10 books that I want to read this year that I anticipate will be 5 stars. And yeah, it's about a creepy carnival. I've never read it, obviously, but I loved this movie when I was growing up, so I might have to watch this adaptation too when I'm done. Okay, the challenge for number 6 is to read something that is not a typical novel. So they suggest maybe a poetry collection, a short story collection, an anthology, you know, something along that lines. So I have 2 things. I'm gonna pick one of them once we get to the readathon, I guess. So I'd really like to finally read Gyo by Junji Ito. This is a manga, but it's pretty long. And of course, reading a manga, it doesn't usually take me as long as a typical novel, but I'm still just gonna wait and see how I feel about about what I want to get to, what I've read when the time comes. So this is potentially on my list. If I don't choose to read Gyo, I think I'm going to read the first volume of Lock and Key by Jonah Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. I've really missed the mark with this Lock and Key series, and I've never read any of them, despite knowing that this is a great series for a long time. I've just kind of slept on it. So maybe I'll read both if I get really excited. I don't know. I guess we'll see. The 6th challenge is to read a book that's been released within the past 5 years. For this, I picked a book that is very recent. It was published just this year, in fact, and that is The Nightmare Girl by Jonathan Janz. I'm sort of cheating a little bit on this one just because I plan to read this anyway this month, but since I can fit it into this readathon, I'm gonna. And this is, of course, about a woman who is in a cult. Her child, she has a young son who gets taken away because she's in this cult. And because he gets taken away, she kills herself. And what happens after that sounds like the cult starts to come after the people who are now fostering her son. I love fictional cults. I've said it before. I'm really excited about this one. This will be the 3rd Jonathan Janz book I've read, and I liked one and I disliked one. So I don't know. How am I gonna feel about this? Hopefully great. We'll see. It sounds really good. And that's it. The challenge for number 7 is to dress up in a half-ass costume and make a video, I think. I don't know. I think you can just take a picture even. It says just to post it on social media with a hashtag. So, maybe I'll do that. Anyway, that is my TBR for the Halfoweenathon. Again, that is hosted by Megan and Sue over at Spinebreakers on YouTube, if you want to check their channel out. And that's all I have to tell you about this. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you're participating. If you made a video, I'd love to watch it. But until next time, I will see you later, alligators.